Welcome to the Zono Sports Show, where you know Zonos. Now, we got a few things to talk about today. LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James. Yes, LeBron James. We thought he might be all hot and bothered about what Phil Jackson said. Now, if you don't know what Phil Jackson said, first off, please know that the Cleveland Cavs busted the Knicks. What was that, 126-94, 30-point blowout, 32-point blowout to be precise about that. Now, everybody wanted to magnify the term posse. Now, the term posse refers, it's equivalent to homeboys or the guys that you, whatever you want to call it. It's seen as a denigrating term. Now, the term entourage, those are people that seem to add value. They're seen as people who add value as well. Jalen Rose touched on that, which I thought was very important to differentiate the two. Now, Phil Jackson, he made a few comments a few weeks ago saying that LeBron wanted to hang back with his posse, referring to Maverick Carter, who's actually a business partner of LeBron James and childhood friend. Now, most of us last night worried about hoop. We just wanted to see that pill go through that cup. Now, I will say there was the backstory, but, I mean, they wanted to talk about it. The media did. However, LeBron, he didn't go off on Phil like I thought he would on the court. Now, Phil ain't sorry. And LeBron, he's not that salty. Now, the reason I say that, they had fun last night. They knew they were a better team than the Knicks going in, and it was an easy dub. They were actually playing the flip bottle game on the side of the court, so on the bench. So that tells you how much LeBron enjoyed sticking it to Phil Jackson's team last night and letting him know your Knicks ain't SH, got to star the other two letters. Now, Kevin Love and Kyrie and LeBron, they all had 20-plus points, which I really think obviously contributed to that big win, over 30 points. And also, I really liked that the Cavs, they got there, they handled business. They didn't worry about the talk behind the scenes between LeBron and Phil. Phil's not playing. LeBron's on the court. They handled business. Now, point them out. I got to point out Carmelo Anthony. Phil Jackson called out Melo, called him a ball hog, and the guy only had 8 points. So I think it's fair. Melo, answer the questions in the interviews. Don't just walk off like you have nothing to say about anything when you can speak up about social issues, which is totally fine and acceptable. But when they ask you about ball, answer, Melo. Don't run. Don't run off and hide. Let Little Red Riding Hood do that. Now, the Knicks, I don't know what to say about them. They've got Derrick Rose, they've got Joakim Noah, they've got Carmelo Anthony, but if you can't compete with LeBron James and the Cavs, then you really can't compete in the East. So it looks like that New York experiment may end up being a bust. It may not work. So Phil Jackson may be pretty salty about that. That's why he makes all the posse comments. But congrats to LeBron and his boys for getting that done against New York. Also, last night, couldn't get an answer. Now, if P. Diddy were to sing that, he'd say, last night, couldn't even get an answer. And the Clippers, they're a good team, but you guys have got to find a way to beat the Golden State Warriors. Yes, I know they have KD. I know they have Steph. I know they have Klay Thompson. However, they're in the way of a finals appearance for the Clippers, for the Spurs, for anybody else competing in the West. Now, this is the 7th straight time that the Clippers have lost to the Warriors. Now, what's that tell me? That tells me that Doc Rivers, the comments he made about their championship, saying that it was fluky. Well, is it fluky, Doc Rivers, that your team keeps getting beat over and over and over and over and over by the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry and newly added Kevin Durant? I don't think that's a fluke. So you've been eating those words for quite some time, Coach. So before you want to go off against the Pelicans and teams like that, you need to go off on your team about the performance against a team like this. Because the Big Four versus the Big Three was no contest. Klay, Steph, Draymond, and Kevin Durant outplayed DeAndre, Blake, and Chris Paul. They had double digits, double figures. However, they were somewhere in the teens. Now, the Warriors' Big Four, they all had upwards to 20 points. I think the least amount scored by the Big Four was 19. So that just shows you the production that they're getting from their top four scorers, their top four performers. These games, they may not be seen as much now, but they'll mean a lot late. And I think what these two teams are doing, the Warriors and the Cavaliers, is showing the rest of the league that you're not on our level. You could never, ever, ever, ever get on our level. And so I have no problem with these teams being super teams. If you have a problem with it, then develop your talent better, the other 30 teams. Get your D-League together. Groom some people. Get a good farm system, because they have a right to go wherever they want, these NBA players. And these two teams are clearly the most dominant forces in the NBA this year. Now, Heisman talk that I want to get to today. That's a big award show that comes on this particular weekend, on this particular Saturday. Now, what's your Heismanology? No. What's Zoe Heismanology? Now, who deserved to strike the pose for eternity? Who does that belong to? Who should get that? We've got 5 options, but I think it may be 5 options too many on this ballot. Now, Lamar Jackson from Louisville, quarterback, he razzled and dazzled all year, seen as the most exciting player in college football, which I think he may have been. He started off the season on a tear, hot. When game day came here and hosted the Florida State U of L game, he made sure that he made a statement, and it was a loud one. They won that game, scored 63 points, looked great. Everybody was happy, but they faltered late in the season. However, Lamar did throw for 3,000. He ran for 1,500 plus, 30 passing TDs, and 21 rushing TDs. I think that's the best combination out of anyone in the country. Now, that FSU game, it put him ahead very far, heads above everyone else, because no one was playing the way he was at that particular point in the season. However, I really think that Houston performance late in the year, that really could have hurt him. This team got sidetracked after that Clemson loss. So did the loss to Kentucky, and not playing as many games as other players, meaning not getting able to play on that championship weekend in the ACC championship and voiding that spot to Deshaun Watson. I think that really could have impacted his Heisman hopes and implications. However, he must brace for impact, because these guys, they're running up on his tail just because of the simple fact that his team didn't perform well down the stretch. Now, should he be penalized for that? Maybe, maybe not, but isn't the Heisman about being the most valuable player? So how valuable are you if you can't help your team beat teams like Kentucky and a Houston team that lost late? We'll get to that in a minute. People that could have been in New York for the Heisman Trophy. Now, moving right along, Deshaun Watson, number 2 on the ballot. Deshaun Watson, he's a junior at Clemson, 37 passing TDs. He's smooth like leather as well, 4,000 passing yards. I really like him. He's a dual threat guy, former king of the ACC. He was the guy everybody talked about last year and his freshman year. He came in, he did his thing, he ran around, got hurt. But he came back from that injury after his freshman year and had a stellar sophomore year. It's his second year in New York, and he's a likable guy. People like this kid. They like to interview him, and he comes off as very humble, and he's a home guy. He's from Gainesville, Georgia. He always talks about his hometown. I think people can appreciate people who appreciate their hometown. And I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson and other finalists don't appreciate their hometown, but this guy goes above and beyond to give kudos to where he's from each and every time he gets a chance to on TV. Now, he won all the big games. He beat the Louisvilles. He won the ACC championship. A win is a win. A loss is a loss. No matter what, you better come with it. You seen that Gatorade commercial. Now, could he win off persona, not ability? I think he could, but he has plenty of ability. But I think his persona, as far as being so likable and not getting in trouble, that could help him the most getting this award over Lamar Jackson. Not to say that Lamar doesn't have a good personality, but I just think Deshaun's been in the spotlight a little longer than Lamar, so he may have left a big enough impression as well as his outstanding season to potentially steal this award from right under Lamar Jackson. And the one knock on him, he got away from the dual threat effect. Now, maybe that's because of the knee, and he understands that he's got some NFL potential, which I can't knock him for that. But did I think it caused his team to suffer a little bit? Maybe, but that defense could have played a lot better this year. They didn't play like last year. But this is a good team. He's a good player. He has a shot to win it. Jabril Peppers, Two Real Peppers, Mr. Do-It-All, more versatile than a Rubik's Cube or a necktie that's different colors that you can wear with every different shirt. Offense, defense, special teams. He's a hero on 3 phases of the football field. Now, 15 different positions played this year in over 900 snaps, which I think is incredible. It's amazing. It shows and speaks to his versatility, Mr. Jabril Peppers. He played on offense and defense, closest thing to Charles Woodson that Michigan's had in quite some time. Now, he had 16 tackles for loss and a few touchdowns on offense. He returned a few punts. He's a talented guy. However, some people are saying, he shouldn't even be in New York, which he did start out hot. He's a versatile guy, but I tend to kind of lean towards agreement with that statement just because of the simple fact that there's other guys you could have invited. You could have invited a J.T. Barrett, a Greg Ward, who beat 2 Heisman finalists, Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson. There's just other people you could have filled in there. But I don't have a problem with Jabril Peppers. I don't think he'll win the Heisman. He's got the wow factor. He strikes fear in the hearts of men. Now, that's a classic line by Keith Jackson that he would use for Steve Breston. Now, he's got a little bit of Steve Breston in him, Jabril Peppers, but I just don't think he will win this type of award, but he'll be an outstanding NFL prospect. And not to add the fact that his coach has plenty of star power, so I think the media likes to give Jim Harbaugh something to talk about. Now, our last 2 finalists, Baker Mayfield at quarterback and his wide receiver, D.D. Westbrook. Mayfield, he's got magic. He keeps plenty of magic in his jelly bean bag. I like the way he plays. He plays with passion, emotion. He evokes it from his teammates. 38 TDs passing, a few interceptions. However, this guy right here, he's got the special ability to improvise. It sets him apart. This may be considered the ghost of Johnny Football, Baker Mayfield, because he's doing things on the football field that are keeping his team in the game. So I really like the way that Baker Mayfield's been able to carry Oklahoma for the duration of the season, considering that rough start they had at the beginning. He didn't play well in heavyweight matchup versus Ohio State against that basic defense that the backup quarterback called out. However, he did play well down the stretch. They blew out West Virginia, who's a good team, and they won the Big 12, so you can't argue with that. D.D. Westbrook, he had a few multiple touchdown games, 16 passing TDs that he caught, but he's got no staying power. He wasn't talked about early in the season. I think he came on way too late. He got noticed way too late. It's kind of like everybody's picked their date at the dance, but there's one pretty girl that walks in, but it's like, we've already all got our dates. So I just don't think he'll be the one who can jump ahead of a person like Baker Mayfield, his own quarterback, or Lamar Jackson. I think this is Lamar Jackson's award to lose. He should be the hands-down heavy favorite to win it, which I'm sure he is. But what will the voters think? Will they penalize Lamar for those late games in the year, or will they reward him for outstanding play early and throughout the season, especially in the loss against Clemson? Now, I really like the fact that they have Deshaun Watson and also Lamar Jackson there, because those are the 2 front runners. So it'll be between those 2 guys. So I like that by this Heisman committee. We'll have to see what happens Saturday. I'm anxious to watch that award show. Probably won't watch the entire thing, but that midway, halfway hour, when I get some time, I will definitely watch a few things that are said about. No, I'm just joking. You know I'm going to watch the award show. Come on now. It's Zone No Sports. So I'll definitely let you guys know Tuesday who won that award and what I thought about the choice. I look forward to seeing the speech and everybody thanking their mama and their daddy and their greasy grandmammy. But I really look forward to seeing somebody accomplish a great feat. It's a pleasure to win the Heisman. Of course it is. So whoever wins that, they'll be known for the rest of their life for the guy that won it for their school. And Lamar would actually be Louisville's first Heisman winner, which would be pretty cool for the city. So thank you for watching Zono Sports, where you know Zonos.